See the Iranian model itself. When they brought the Ayatollah, the first Ayatollah, flew him in when the Shah went away. So will they bring in Raza Pahlavi now?
No, I don't buy
he's
that.
He's trying a lot.
Yes, he's trying a lot, and in fact, if you look, I mean, he's sort of self-appointed himself as the savior of the Iranian people. But that's the whole tragedy, Smita. See, the thing is that if you look at Iran, anybody, and over the last,
bazaar doesn't know him.
Okay, no, I mean, it's not just the bazaar doesn't know him. Anybody who has been secular, right? Anybody who was anti-regime has already left Iran. Right. They are already living outside of Iran. They're living in, I mean, Shah himself, he's been living in the US for the most of times, and now I think he's either in Europe or in the US. Yeah. So he's not there. So that is what you're expecting is that the Iranian people that don't have the money, they don't have a future, right? And that is why you also saw that in the interim, right? Before America really started the Operation Epic Fury, and when this entire thing started in December, you saw so many Iranian youngsters actually killing themselves out of frustration that Donald Trump said that he will intervene and he's not intervening. But the whole question is this. You are really, I mean, this is like looking for a black cat in a dark room, you know. I mean, anybody who is anti-regime has left Iran. They have maybe some of their far-flung families still remaining here and there. If you look at the minorities, by the way, Iran is also a very, very diverse nation. So that's another strategy that Israel sometimes tries. For example, they have an Azeri border, so they try to sort of...
Kurdish and everything.
Yeah, so the Kurdish question there, the Azeri question there, the Baloch question. So you start sort of, an internal kind of a disturbance. But long and short is that in the 47 years that the regime has survived, and the manner in which IRGC has sort of consolidated power, right? I mean, they have by the way, they also have an official military. Uska aapne naam bhi nahi suna hoga. It's called Artesh.
No.
Right? Nobody's heard the name. Exactly. So they have a formal military. But everything is consolidated in the hands of the IRGC. And IRGC is not just about security and defense. It is about defending the political and strategic rationale of the revolution. So they are working with a very different brainwashed, sort of a outlook. And that is why so far, you see so many people who are saying, we have not really seen any defections. And one more very, very important thing that people tend to miss when we are discussing regime change. In 1979, so a lot of the bureaucracy that existed within Iran, right, it was not all purged. Much of that was also absorbed. So what I'm trying to underscore here is that the system that they have tried to put together in place and also then in 47 years matured, it is made with these shock absorbers here and there, right? And that is why to find defections is so difficult. Okay, so far that is why you have not seen any major defections. People are getting killed. But as you said, martyrdom is such a value and such a thing in that culture. Acha, that's another thing. That's another. I was just speaking to one of my Shia sort of colleagues and friends, and I obviously can't take their names. But what I mean to say, so they said that what the Ayatollahs have done. The Ayatollahs have perpetrated a massive influence operation on the Shias of the world, making them believe as if they are the leaders of the Shia community. Guys, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. I mean, there are so many sects within Shias. Okay, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है that, I mean, these guys came in 1979. They did not exist before 1979. So but the Shias have existed, right? Because they trace their lineage back to the Prophet's daughter and son-in-law, etc. So what he's saying is that itself is a very, very problematic thing, that he's the spiritual leader and blah blah and whatever. But of course, people have bought it, and also the Shia people of the other Gulf states, they also buy it.
Even in India, they believe.
Even in India, people were crying. That shahadat ho gayi. Yeah, I mean, and for what? It doesn't make geopolitical sense at all. This guy was always very vitriolic on Kashmir. That guy, I mean, come on, look at it, right? Of course, we had interests. Of course, we had convergences, but we also had divergences. And Kashmir is a very good example of that. Secondly, he is in no which way the leader of the Shia world. But it's just that because he's sort of sold the story for decades that he's the one that is standing against the wicked, imperialists and the Zionists, etc. So people have sort of bought that story.
Like the Ismailis and all don't believe
they don't.
that.
The Ismailis don't. Aga Khan, Khanis, and they don't. The Bohras don't. So many of them, they don't. I mean, I'm no scholar of Islamic history, but I definitely know these people personally, right? And they say, no, there is no such thing. So it's an influence op,
Namaste, Jai Hind. You're watching ANI podcast with Smita Prakash.
अगर हम उसको मस्जिद कहेंगे तो फिर विवाद होगा.
The issue is टूटा है क्या भारत?
400 पार का मतलब ये है कि संविधान खतरे में है.
क्या हम लोग ये निर्देश देते हैं कि फला को गिरफ्तार करके जेल डाल दो?
वही तो कह रहे हैं सब।
ये बेबुनियाद निराधार आरोप।
सच्चा सुनना चाहो देखो स्मिता प्रकाश ANI, it does not lie.